And take a moment to really build your foundation, feeling the sits bones on the ground, wiggle a little bit, build the spine tall. And normally there's a slight rounding through the lower back for people. So we're coming to slightly towards the front edge of the sits bones, finding that nice natural curve through the lower back as you lift through the crown of the head. And let's just take a few little shoulder rolls, shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and then lowering them down behind. Nice slow circles. Even play with how you can match that to your breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And then reversing directions with that roll. Good. One more time. And let's reverse it one more time so that we see those shoulders solidly on the back. Feel a slight lift through your heart as you close your eyes and tune into the breath. Just watching the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And as we work with this idea of discernment today, I want you to observe the breath in a fresh way. You're noticing some of the differences between the inhale and the exhale, starting at the tip of the nose. What can you notice that feels different about the inhale and exhale? And then bringing the awareness to the back of the throat. Noticing the sensation, the textures of the breath. Asking yourself, what's happening now as you start to slow down and bring awareness to the body, to the breath. And then dropping your awareness to the heart, the chest. Noticing once again what's happening with the breath. How does sensation ever change? You may want to bring awareness to that point where you feel that sense of fullness with the breath. Or on the other end of the breath, notice that moment when you choose to take the next breath. You may even want to play here with some holding of the breath, always keeping it in a comfortable range. If you choose a holding practice, just witnessing How do you know when you reach the point of discomfort? How do you know when to resume the breathing practice? And what's the difference between discomfort and absolute need? Play with that for the next few moments. Can you sense into the difference between being uncomfortable but manageable versus uncomfortable and needing to create change? And with each awareness that you bring to sensation, to the body, bringing a sense of acceptance. This is my experience, and so it is. And finishing with a complete exhale and taking a lengthening inhale, reaching through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, let's twist in one direction, bringing a hand to the floor behind your lower back, turning the gaze over the back shoulder and breathe. And witness the breath in the chest once again. What's different? What's the same? Where do you feel it strongest? Where's your attention drawn? And then with the next inhale, slowly unwind. Come back to center. And let's walk the hands forward in front. Take this slowly, allow your body time to adjust. It's a gentle rounding. And then keeping the chin lower to the chest and round back up to seated. Eventually bringing your spine tall. And then we're going to reach back behind us with both hands. Actually make fists and have your thumbs down with your fists as you lift up through the heart. Big breaths. And then come back to neutral. And let's twist in the other direction. Big inhale and then exhale and twist, looking over the other shoulder. Once again, noticing subtle differences. Notice that the point of sensation has likely changed and how it has changed. Take a big deep breath, really filling the lungs. And then with the next inhale, slowly unwind. Good. Let's go ahead and switch the feet. So the other foot is closer in. And once again, come into that gentle rounding of the body. Notice where you feel the sensation of this stretch. And if, and only if it's in your hips or legs, go ahead and squeeze that area a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then soften. See if your body invites you in just a little further. And then rounding back up. And this time we're going to clasp the hands together behind the back. And if you need a strap, go ahead and reach for the strap. Yeah. And then lifting those arms up and away. Continuing to lift through the heart. And noticing what's happening now. Good. And then slowly lower those hands back to the back, releasing the arms to the front. All right, and we're going to come up to hands and knees. Finding a tabletop position. All right. And we're going to start with awareness of the hands, just spreading those fingers nice and wide. And then imagining that you're slightly clawing the mat. And I don't mean to lift the fingers so much as to feel the palms kind of squeezing inward and upward as you press into the mounds of the fingers. You should feel your whole arm activate when you engage the hands in this way. And then just go ahead and collapse into it again, just regular hands and knees. And we're going to try it one more time. So you're kind of squeezing and lifting the back of the palm, the wrist. Should feel engagement up through the full arm. Again, noticing what a difference this subtle movement makes. And then exhale, and we're going to stretch the hips back to the heels and reach the arms out straight in front of us. Child's pose. And in this posture, I want you to imagine you're going to lift the armpits up towards the ceiling. And you'll feel the shoulder blades squeeze together on the back. And once again, this little movement, notice what a difference it's making in the body. Feel the engagement. Now, if that's a little bit hard to feel, you can come to the very tips of the fingers. So actually lift the palms away from the mat, make little spiders out of your hands. And once again, that should inflate the armpits upward. Breathe into it. Feel the opening in the body. Deep rhythmic breaths. Noticing what's happening now. What else can you be aware of here? Kind of checking out your body experience, your thoughts, your emotions. And then walk the hands over to the right so that you create this nice C-shaped curve through the left side of the body. And then breathe right into that stretched area. Feel like the lungs, the rib cage expand even more with the breath. Good. And then walk the hands over through center and off to the left. Again, feel this C-shaped curve from the hips to the tips of the right fingers. Breathe into that space, creating even more expansion. Good. And then walk those hands back to center. And we're going to lift our tail up and away from the heels and actually lower the forearms to the floor so that your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders. Spread the hands wide once again. And we're going to round the spine, bringing the chin to the chest, arcing the spine upward. And then inhale as you lift the tail and lift the gaze out in front. And let's repeat that movement a few times, this modified cat-cow flow. Inhale as you expand and look up. Exhale and round. Again, just notice what's happening now. Good. One more round. And coming to a more neutral position, forearms are still on the floor. And we're actually going to turn our toes under like a downward facing dog. We're going to lift the tail up into the air. This is a dolphin pose here. Lifting and lengthening, and just walk the heels alternately towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let's lower the knees, coming into child's pose. And this time, wrap your arms around your body. Complete rounding inward. And breathe. Watch the sensation as it releases from the body. Notice how it slowly shifts, ebbs and flows. Notice you're in the same posture right now, and yet the experience is changing. Staying aware. And then reach the arms out in front of you. And come up to hands and knees, and we're going to step the right foot through to a lunge. So we're going to keep our back knee on the floor. And as you come into that lunge position, squaring your body up. And we're going to play a little bit with some subtle movements within that lunge. So the first thing I want you to do is actually bring your hands up to the top of that front knee. And we're going to bring awareness to the back leg. So the back leg should be, we're going to bring this rotation in. So the inseam of the leg, we're going to actually rotate towards the inseam. So it's an inward rotation. And as you do that, you should notice some subtle sensation setting up in the body. For me, I'm feeling it in my lower back. Just notice how you feel it. And then release that inward rotation and just hang out there once again. Yeah, let's engage that one more time, bringing in that slight, subtle engagement of inward rotation. And then go ahead and lower your hands to the floor while you maintain that inward rotation. And turning the toes under on the back foot. And once again, take a couple breaths, notice sensation. What's happening now? And let's play with this a moment. Point the toes again. Notice how things shift. And this time we're going to actually press back through the heel as you lift the knee off of the floor. And once again, you can play with inward rotation versus releasing that rotation. Notice how one of them maybe juices it up a little bit more. And of course, if you need, you can always use bricks to help with this posture. Go ahead and lower your knees down. Let's step that right knee back and come into a child's pose once again. Taking a few deep breaths. And once again, watching your body as it integrates the motion. Just like in Zapta Zen, we're always integrating our daily experiences. Your body is always digesting what's happening to it. Witness the process. And then when you're ready, hands and knees, step the left foot forward into a low lunge, knees down first. So at first, just coming into whatever your natural lunge is. And then we're going to play with subtle adjustments and alignments. Just noticing, where are you feeling this posture? Breathe into the experience. And again, if you want bricks, you can use those. All right, so we're going to start by bringing that inward rotation to that back thigh. It takes a little bit of effort to bring that in. So allow the body to then adjust. See if you can relax into it while still maintaining the rotation. And then soften again. One more time, inward rotation. And then let's play toes under. Continuing to watch the changes. How do you know what you know? Pointing the toes again. Turning them under. Good, and then let's, as you have those toes pointed under, press back through the heel. Feel the thigh or the knee lift away from the floor. The thigh is going to juice up a little bit as you bring that inward rotation in, and then move the front knee back towards the front of the back. Big breaths. Good, and then let's lower that knee back down again. Step the left knee back. Child's pose once again. Aware. Watching the body as it integrates and digests the pose. The body's always adjusting to expectations. So whatever you do on a daily basis, it attempts to grow into. Sometimes in very informed and intelligent ways, and other times because it's working around something or another. Let's roll on up to seated. So we're coming up to seated on our heels. If this is challenging for your body, you can roll up a towel. I've even just rolled up my socks and put them under the front of the ankle. And just tuck that tailbone under, lift the spine, bring the head, the jaw drawing back slightly, reaching through the crown. A thunderbolt pose. Good, and then let's lift up to our knees. Turning the toes under once again. We're going to bring our hands either in front of the heart in a prayer position, or you can bring them behind you. You can grab opposite elbows, or if it works for your body, bring your hands into a reverse namaste. And you can tell I'm all taped up. Reverse namaste is not going to work for me today. I'm going to grab my elbows. Do what your body needs. Lift through that heart, squeezing those shoulder blades together on the back. And then we're going to slowly bring a lean backwards into the body. Try to keep that nice straight line. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Good. And we'll engage it one more time. So really, this time, tuck that tailbone under, feel the thighs, squeeze upwards through the core, and then bring in the lean. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and back up. Good. All right. Let's lower back down, hips to heels. Taking a couple deep breaths. Noticing what's happening now. All right, let's stretch your arms out long in front of you, coming into extended child's pose. Spread those fingers wide, and we're going to lift up into a full downward facing dog. Take a moment to just lower the heels one at a time, wiggle those hips around, feel your body. Bend the knees enough that you can create a straight line from the wrists to the shoulders to the hips. And see if you can maintain that straight line as you start to try to straighten the legs. So that upper body line is the integrity of the pose. Taking a couple deep breaths there. And then walking the feet between the hands. And just coming into an easy hanging forward fold. Bend your knees slightly. Make it very easy right now. And then we're going to release the hands down and just walk the hands up, round the spine up, And when the hands reach the knees, lengthen the spine. Imagine reaching from tailbone to crown of the head, creating this lengthening. Take a couple breaths there. Notice the subtle sensation in the spine. Again, round that chin. Notice what that feels like. And then press the hands into the tops of the knees as you lengthen the spine again. And then round and come all the way up to standing. Hands to the heart. Closing the eyes. Connecting with the beating of the heart beneath your thumbs. What else can you bring into your awareness right now? As you continue in this standing mountain, inhale and lift the arms up and overhead. Keep the palms together if that works for your body. If it does not, it's okay for them to separate. You can bring those arms right alongside the ears. Feel the strength in the posture. Holding this as long as works for your body, you can always lower your hands and adjust. But as long as it works for your body, taking a couple more deep breaths. Play with the subtle. Discernment is all about awareness of subtle differences. So let's play a little bit with dropping back through the heels. And as you do that, rotate those thighs inward, both thighs. Tuck the tailbone into the space created. Lift through the spine. Open the heart. Draw the chin back. And by now, you're probably feeling the heat rising in the body. Notice that. What else are you aware of? A strong posture. Now watch the sensation in your shoulders as you slowly lower the arms. Again, watching the body adjust. You can close your eyes to bring that subtle sensation in. And what's happening now? All right, so we're going to step our feet about 3 feet apart, maybe 4, somewhere in there. Nice wide stance, sorry. Toes pointing straight ahead. And then you're going to lift your hands up to your hips. Good. And then turn your right toes out to the end of the mat and bring your left toes slightly in. All right, and once you find that posture, let's go ahead and bend the front knee. And play with lifting the toes on both feet. Feeling that engagement. And then lower the toes And breathe. Good. One more time, lifting the toes. And then let's lift the arms out to shoulder height, coming into a warrior two pose. Gaze at the front fingertips. And then try looking back in your warrior two. Notice how that feels different. Looking forward once again. And then turning those palms upward. Notice what happens with the palms upward. In fact, play with that a little bit, lowering them and then opening them up again. Good. And then lower your arms to the hips. And we're going to bring this around 180 degrees. So first pointing both toes forward. Let the body adjust. Time and space. And then turning the left toe, pointing towards the short end of the mat. Right toes angling in. It's important for that heel to be slightly behind the toes on the back foot. Go ahead and lower, bending that front knee, making sure that knee does not go past the top of the ankle. And inhale the arms up. This time, let's start with looking back. And then looking forward. And playing with palms up. Notice what, if anything, changes there. And palms down. And then lowering your hands to your hips. Let's straighten that front leg. And turn the toes straight forward once again. All right, now this time let's angle the toes outward on both legs. Bending the knees. So we're coming into a goddess position, but we're going to start with our hands resting on our knees. But if it works and feels good in your body, bringing those elbows up to shoulder height, and then rotating the arms into a cactus position. And you can play with that a little bit. Once again, studying, aware. And when I use that word studying, it's not an intensity, it's a curiosity that we're bringing to our inner experience. Good, let's extend those arms out, palms up. Lower them back down to the knees and press the feet into the ground. Step those feet together. And once again, close your eyes in Tadasana, hands at the heart, watching your body absorb these sensations. Are there any places where that process gets stuck, or does it flow freely? Good. Now releasing those hands. And let's roll forward once again, bringing the chin to the chest. Slowly lowering to the ground. Noticing what's happening now. And then we're going to come through a squat, so step the feet a little bit further apart. Of course, only do this if it works for your body. Lowering down, bringing the arms between the knees if balance is possible for you. If it's not, just keep the hands right there on the floor. And it can be really helpful to bring a brick, and you can just sit on that brick in any dimension if you want to. I like to step the feet a little wider. Just play with it a little bit. See if you can find a comfortable squat for you. So this is TC. He has decided to join our practice today. He's usually not down here. He clearly wants attention. All right. So let's go ahead and release that squat now. And come on down to seated. So we're going to place the legs wide apart today. So wide angle. So for this pose, this actually is even more likely for that lower back to round. So I'll show what that looks like for a moment. So if you can feel that you're, that you're slightly behind your sits bones, like I'm showing there, rather than on top of them, you may want to bring a blanket underneath you, all right, just for a little bit of height. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to find that nice vertical spine and lift it tall. Flex the toes and breathe. All right, and then if it works for your body, just coming forward a little bit. Just a little. So what you're going to want to do is press the heels down into the floor to activate the legs. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then soften the legs. You can wiggle around a little bit, and you should find just a little bit more opening. So keep playing with that. Point the toes upward. Press through the mound of the big toes, so it's actually a slight outward rotation of the foot. Press the heels into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then soften. And see if you can find a little bit more room in the pose. Now we're going to go ahead and hang out here for a little bit. So if you want to use a block or a solid cushion to help support the posture. Keep breathing. Notice we tend to brace against the stretch. See if you can squeeze just a little bit to bring awareness to that bracing, and then soften. And this is going to be a continual dance of noticing the engagement, and then seeing if you can soften out of it again. Bring your discernment to the process, using awareness, noticing where the tension lies in the body, noticing if there's any part of you that's trying to prevent the experience in some way. And remember, this may be for safety reasons. So can you discern the difference? Can you honor if it's for safety that maybe you need to back out just a little more, and then your body can find the softening? Versus when you're in too far and your body cannot find it. Or when is it that you simply need to move in the direction of the tension a little bit so that you can soften back out? So all of these are ways of discerning. So play with all the possibilities, see what happens. Allow yourself to come out a little bit to explore. Notice the things that block your ability to play with the experience and to discern where you need to be. Bring a slight little smile to your face. It's kind of hard to bring that smile in if you've pushed things too far, too hard. All right, and so we're going to release this posture slowly. I'm going to start by just walking up to a tall spine once again. Take a couple of breaths there. Again, watch the body digest the pose. We're going to use our hand to actually lift the leg around. Doing the same with the other leg. Coming into a cobbler's pose position, so soles of the feet together, knees opening to the floor, just lifting the spine. You're welcome to move into a forward fold with this. My intention here is simply the release that comes with this pose. So a tall spine is a great position to feel that release in. Noticing what's happening now. If you do want to take that forward fold, I actually suggest walking the feet out about 6 inches, just to give yourself a little bit more room. Shift that weight around and lengthen the spine. And then round back up. Let's bring those knees together, hug them in. Good. Round off of the back of the sits bones. You can wrap the arms behind the thighs and lift the legs, coming into a modified boat pose. Now, if you want to go into a more full version of the boat, you can extend one leg and the other, or both legs. Notice I'm supporting the legs still, but you can also release the arms and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Okay. So let's make our way down to the floor, just rolling down onto your back. Extending the legs out long. Allow the feet to open slightly out to the sides. And then bringing your arms to a 45-degree angle from the body, palms up. And for the next few breaths, the word is soft. Soft breath, soft body, soft awareness. And let's play with the subtle experience of eye placement. So you may not have even thought of your eyes to this point beyond the fact that they're closed. Let's start first with imagining looking off into distance and then dropping the awareness back and looking at the light show behind the eyes. Play with that one more time. See if you can sense into the subtle muscular engagement. So, looking way off into the future, maybe contemplating a little bit with the gaze. And then soften as you look towards the backs of the eyelids. And then turn the gaze now towards the heart. Now, of course, you can't see the heart. This is just a general focus and direction for your gaze. When you look towards the heart, notice what's happening now in your body, in your thoughts. Now turn that gaze upward towards the third eye, watching that space between the eyebrows. Notice all else is the same. The body's in the same position. But what changes as you shift the gaze towards the third eye? And then bring the awareness to the crown of the head. What happens at the crown of the head? And play with, can you bring your gaze to the back of your body? While you can't turn your eyes in that direction, we're getting even more subtle through focused awareness. What difference does trying on a new lens for your experience make? And in fact, go ahead and try a new perspective. I want you to imagine having your experience from the perspective of your right elbow. Allowing all of your conscious awareness to settle into that right elbow. And then notice what you're aware of as your right elbow. Things are connected to you. What's influencing your experience? How about your left heel? Just dropping in there, having the experience of your left heel. And starting to deepen your breath. Bringing gentle movement to the fingers and toes. And then stretching your body long. Big breaths. And bring a twist into your body. And when you're ready, rolling to the left side. And coming on up to seated. Bringing your hands to your heart. And as a practice of subtle awareness, we're going to bring deep awareness to the three parts of the Om, the vibration that happens in the belly with the first part, the ah sound, and then the O lifting up through the heart, and then feeling the vibration of the as it comes through the lips and even vibrates up through the crown of the head. So see if you can bring that kind of awareness as that sound lifts through the chakras of the body. All right. Take a big breath in. Let's repeat it 2 more times. Namaste. And bringing one hand to your heart and one to your abdomen. Taking a moment to connect across the airwaves, across time if you're listening to this as a recording. All right, and namaste. Have a wonderful day.